welcome to the Dora Papoutsakis Show with Dora and George Vassilas. Another week together, Filimu. We're approaching June. The weather's getting better. The quarantine is being lifted. Everything is great. George, feeling good?
You know, we're always feeling good here on the Dora Papoutsakis Show, but now the feelings are external. Everyone is feeling a little bit of more positivity when it comes to what's happening here in BC. Flattening the curve, the light is at the end of it. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Things are very positive, and you know we're seeing restrictions being lifted. So yeah, it's so positive.
Excited. This is great, except you know what I'm not excited about is that to Ontario, mastaki halasi ola.
Get to Quebec.
Get to Quebec, because I've been planning, you know, δεν θα πάμε στην Ελλάδα φέτος, that's okay, φέτος θα κάνουμε explore όλο το Καναδά. Θα πάμε στο Quebec, δεν έχω πάει ποτέ, θα πάμε στο Atlantic Canada, θα πάμε Prince Edward Island. Και σήμερα είδα that Ontario, anyway, I'm not sure about Quebec, but Ontario is actually on an upward trend again, based on the fact that they've reopened and gotten rid of some measures and stuff. So that's kind of freaking me out. I'm not going to lie. Not good for my mental health, George.
And yes, it was Mental Health Week 2 weeks ago. And it's amazing how, you know, I get it. You want to get ahead. You want the economy to keep moving. You want it to grow. But we said it many times, short-term pain, long-term gain. You want to be able to take care of yourselves in order to avoid either, like you just said, basically a rebound or the second wave. And you want to avoid this thing staying longer.
I know. Let's do this already. Let's move on. But this week, Filimu, we are having a health-related show. We're going to talk about our physical health. We're going to talk about our mental health. We've got some great guests on this week. We've got Miss Artemis Kochas. Miss Artemis is going to talk to us about masticha, the new Greek superfood. I mean, I love masticha. I'm neighboring to Chios, so I've been to Chios plenty of times, and it's incredible what they can do with those masticha trees. But yeah, we're going to talk masticha with her, and then we're going to talk mental health with Angela Katsamakis, counselor. She has been taking questions from our listeners, and she's going to answer because a lot of people are stressed out that, you know what, we're coming out of quarantine, and that is causing a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. Like now I'm going to be meeting more people and coming into contact with different people and places. So that's a big deal for our mental health. So that's who we got on this week.
And those are fantastic topics, and we want to make sure that we have all those covered. I think it's important to constantly have our own mental health in check. You know, you go through it. There's going to be ups and downs. You're going to be a little bit annoyed that you can't see more than 6 people, or you can't go to church with a full church service or have coffee afterwards. There's so many things that can bring you down that if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't do the necessary steps to alleviate any anxiety that you might have, it worsens. It's a slippery slope, and you want to avoid that.
And thank you for the reminder. We also have Father Odisea on at the end of our show to talk about community news, and he's going to talk about the opening of the churches and what the rules and guidelines are if you want to go to church. But anyway, speaking about health, I mean, we're talking about the Greek superfoods, right? So Artemis is going to be talking to us about masticha, which is kind of new in the superfood world. The Greek superfoods have always been what? Olive oil, obviously. Yeah. Honey. What did you say,
I read
George?
somewhere where olives are very healthy for you as well, the Kalamata olives.
Yeah, olives and olive oil, honey. Yes.
And I was reading something the other day about you're looking to find foods that have a very high thermic effect. And I had to look that up. What does that mean, a high thermic effect? It basically means foods that will boost your metabolism, you know, so allow you to burn calories, allow you to really accelerate anything that you want to do with your body, accelerate your metabolism, which as we know, is the key to everything for having a perfect physique like mine.
Yes, which we all aspire to have.
I was the kickoff to the fad of the dad bods.
You're ahead of your time, George.
I was patient one for dad bods.
One of these days, we're going to be out of quarantine. We're going to take a nice picture. We're going to post it on our Facebook page for all of our listeners to see.
And I'll make sure to Photoshop my six-pack. But I mean, some of the foods that really, you want these protein-rich foods that help you: fish, meat, eggs, dairy, legumes, nuts. You want to increase your irons, your zincs. You want to chili peppers, if you like your food hot, is good for you as well. This I'm really excited about. Coffee and tea, is good for you as well. We mentioned legumes earlier. There's some spices that are really good for you as well, right? Like ginger powder, putting it in hot water. My mother does that every morning. She actually does a toast with ginger and meli on her toast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Cocoa is for a nice little tasty treat is for you as well. We all have heard about apple cider vinegar. A lot of people drink that in the mornings or at night to really help you, and that's a great thing as well. Coconut oil, experiencing this huge surge in popularity, very good for you. And the last two, of course, water, which we know that, and seaweed. So those are just a few things that you can really focus on your foods-wise to really kick off your metabolism. And now that the hopefully all the restrictions are being lifted here in BC, this kicks off your metabolism and you have more energy to go outside and ride a bike and go to the beach and run on the beach and play volleyball in your tank top or shirtless like I played volleyball. I always
Excellent.
Yes. Always.
Well, I think we all know what we're supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be eating. For the most part, like obviously no processed foods, limit your sugar intake. There are good carbs, but there are also lots of bad carbs. But I think the most important thing, and what we learn later on in our show from Artemis, and we all know, is you have to be careful where you think you're getting, let's say, olive oil. But are you getting olive oil? Are you getting some sort of blend that's being blended with all sorts of, chemicals or whatnot? It's really important that you're doing your research now with your food. There are things coming from Asia, which unfortunately, I don't want to be, rude, but it cannot be trusted, because I saw this documentary on Netflix and the episode was on honey, and there's an episode on garlic, and we all know about the garlic that comes from China is not actually garlic. So there was a whole episode on honey and how the people who are testing the honey can't keep up because people are modifying it so quickly that the tests, it's hard to detect what is in this honey. Is it actually honey? And so many places in Asia are exporting honey, which is not actually honey. It's made from rice, or it's made from some sort of other plant, or it's mixed with chemicals. So, this is where we can support Greek, right? You support your Greek olive oil, you support your Greek honey. They're all stamped. The mastija, Artemis tells us later on, make sure it's stamped, that it's come from the Chios, the people from that region of Chios who are making it. It's really important these days that we do our research.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've all heard about the products coming from China. Their garlic is white because it's been bleached. It's horrible. And, a lot of these things that we put into our bodies affect our bodies negatively when they're not healthy. So taking that extra time, I used to joke around with my wife when she was pregnant and the first few years with Nicholas, we'd always go to Whole Foods and buy the healthy food, right?
Yeah.
And you realize that, you do so much for your little one. Sometimes you forget to do that for yourself as well.
Completely.
And you want to be able to concentrate on yourself because, again, you want to be there and you want to be happy and healthy for your whole family and for yourself especially, to be able to do everything that you want to do.
Yeah, everybody. So do your research. It doesn't necessarily mean you always have to buy organic. And you know what? Listen to your parents and your grandparents. My Pethero, I don't know, he is as healthy as an ox, and he is always making some sort of morning concoction that he's drinking, or he's putting in his hot water and his tea, and there's garlic in there and apple cider vinegar and, ginger and everything that you previously said, George. And I mean, it's obviously working for him. So anyways, na sinikis to programamas, we're going to play a few songs before we continue our show. And I have a little dedication for a very special person who is having their birthday. And that is my honey bunny, my hubby.
Yay!